Forget the countdown. We're just live. No countdown today, Jim. You don't care. I mean, we're
No.
talking Bryan Reynolds. There's no countdown today.
No
We're back
countdown.
with you. Live edition of the wrap-up show. If you're here live, we're on replay. Please hit that subscribe button. We are a week out. This was supposed to be opening day, Jim. Today was supposed to be the home opener, opening day, downtown San Diego. It's been pushed back a week, but we're a week out. If you're here for a first time, if you haven't subscribed yet, we've got exclusive year-round Padres content. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Smash the like button. We're here for Padres fans, and also follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We'll tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, coming up here momentarily, but we're thinking the same thing that you're thinking, that it's been an off season of speculation and rumors, furthered today by a tweet from Bob Nightingale, which means it's probably not going to happen, Jim. But let's pull up the tweet from Bob Nightingale. Let's talk about Bryan Reynolds, because we joke about the missing piece. This would be a missing piece for the Padres, acquiring a left fielder that's a 6-WAR caliber player.
Hold on. There we go. You got it?
I got it.
All right. Look, it's Bob Nightingale, okay? You have to take whatever he says with the tiniest grain of salt ever. So, and I see people in the chat saying it's already been debunked by Dennis. Where? Dennis hasn't said anything, okay? So, today at least. I don't know. But I don't know what to make of it. It's Bob Nightingale. You take it for what Bob Nightingale is worth, which is not a lot, to be honest with you.
There is more than just what Bob Nightingale tweeted, because Jason Mackey covers the Pirates for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I don't know if you can pull up his tweet, but he said that earlier today, Reynolds was not on the field, right? Then he spoke with Reynolds. He spoke with Reynolds this morning, and Reynolds said he was doing indoor work. But Reynolds has spoken publicly about the fact that the Pirates have not said they will not trade him. And also, the two sides could not come to an agreement, even on arbitration, right? The Pirates would not acquiesce to whatever the demands were. He wanted $850,000 more, $750,000 more. And they have not discussed a long-term contract with Bryan Reynolds, who's under control, by the way, for the next 4 years. So that's really the conversation today. The conversation is it worth giving up the farm to acquire an all-star left fielder right now if you're AJ Preller? So that's Jason Mackey. He's going to join us, by the way, on John and Jim today on Extra 1360 and the iHeartRadio app at 4:10. So join us on the radio. We'll follow up with Jason Mackey. Kevin Acee will join us at 5 o'clock today. But that's what Jason said. Jason followed up with Bryan Reynolds, who said the reason he was not hitting outside is he was doing individual work.
Right.
That's what he said in his article in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, this on the heels of when Bob Melvin said yesterday morning, straight up, hey, AJ Preller, our outfield depth is not good. Now, he didn't say that, hey, AJ Preller, but he mentioned we have no depth in the outfield. And that, to me, was a clear, not shot at Preller, but like, hey, AJ, maybe do something here. And it's funny that the day after Melvin says that, you see a report. Now I will always say, until this is officially like not a thing, it's from Bob Nightingale.
Yeah, of course. Nobody's saying it's done, but we're saying they have a left field need.
Right. 100%.
Let's just throw that out. I mean, would you give up the farm for Bryan Reynolds? I mean, what would you give up? Because Bob Nightingale talked about Ryan Weathers and Chris Paddock. It's going to take a lot more than that, Jim. That's not the centerpiece of a deal for Bryan Reynolds, or it's at least those are pieces. Maybe it's going to take more than that. Not getting Bryan Reynolds for Chris Paddock and Ryan Weathers. I think Weathers is a nice young piece. I think the book's a little out on Chris Paddock. You'd be buying low.
What about Campusano?
On really both of them. It's going to take more than that. I think it's taken. Yeah, I mean, maybe Campusano and those two and someone else, right?
Yeah,
I mean, why would you give up a 6-WAR player if you're the Pirates?
It would take a lot, man. And with the fact that I think CJ Abrams is going to make this roster now, I don't think Abrams is even considered, which he shouldn't be in any type of trade.
Mm-hmm.
But besides, take Bryan Reynolds out of the equation. The fact is, this team still doesn't have a left fielder, and when you start talking about your backup outfielders as a guy that is a rookie who has 350 plate appearances in the minors, who has never played in the outfield, in CJ Abrams, and Will Myers is your backup center fielder, like, if that doesn't scream, oh my God, we have major problems here, I don't know what does.
100%. By the way, Reynolds, when he talked to Jason Mackey this morning, Jim, I'm reading through this article in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He had text on his phone. He then went to MLB Trade Rumors to learn more. And then he said, I don't have any control over it. Not going to stress about it. This was Bryan Reynolds today, speaking with the beat writer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We'll take your super chats if you have questions about this. Before we get to the super chats, Jim, let's tell you about our title sponsor. The way we're able to do this wrap-up show is because of the support of our sponsors, including Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Mark is a San Diegan and a lifelong Padres fan. He lives and dies on this stuff like you all do, like we do, like Padres fans do. If you've got auto, home, renters, or life insurance needs, or earthquake insurance needs, or you own an electric vehicle, or you just want to save money on your insurance, it's as simple as that. If you just want to save money this year, everyone can save money right now. Gas is $6.15 a gallon or whatever it is. You can save $750 this year if you switch your insurance over to Mark Nimitz. We have a link down below for Mark, who's our title sponsor. You can contact him today. He can help you save $750 on your insurance today or tomorrow. I did it with my earthquake and my homeowners. I did it in like 24 hours. So if you have insurance needs, if you're a Padres fan, he'll talk to you about Padres baseball, and he'll talk to you about your insurance needs.
And all his information is always above my head. mnimitz@farmersagent.com. That's mnimitz@farmersagent.com. Reach out to him. Let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap Up Show sent you.
All right, let's get to these super chats on the rare morning edition of a wrap-up show, live wrap-up show.
Taco Bell, call 911. I don't feel comfortable getting rid of 2 big league caliber pitchers. We need our pitching depth. I would kind of agree with that. But again, if you're giving up Paddock and Weathers for a 6-WAR player in the outfield, it's kind of hard to say no to that.
You still have Gore. You still have Morahone theoretically in the second half. Who else am I missing, Jim? You still have Reese Kinnear, who made a number of starts for the Padres last year.
You have Lamet for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, we don't know what his role is going to be. Taco Bell, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I mean, it's interesting to say that. I understand that sentiment because they ran out of starting pitching last year, Jim. But man, if the Pirates called me and said that Paddock and Weathers are the centerpiece and you just need to now throw in a low-level minor league prospect, I'm making the deal. The reason I think the deal hasn't been consummated is because I think the Pirates are going to get a lot more than Paddock and Weathers. Not just from the Padres, just elsewhere.
Yeah. The asking price on Reynolds probably is just massive. It has to be. A guy under control till 2026. He's a 6-WAR player, all-star. Not going to make a lot of money for a little bit. Yeah, switch hitter. This dude, he's going to cost a lot. This is not just an easy trade.
You'd be going from a 0-WAR position to a 6-WAR position overnight. So it's got to hurt to do that. Right. Do we ever first ever super sticker? I love this comment, by the way, from Josh.
I kind of agree with that. Actually, I 100% agree with that. The likelihood of me getting better internet is actually a better thing, or better that could happen over Bryan Reynolds. I don't even know what
Jim has literally been texting me like over the last 48 hours, freaking out about his internet, which is how you know that his internet has really been bad.
Dude,
Jim's like, my internet hasn't been fixed. I'm like, dude, this is the story of the last 3 months.
I've almost broken things in this house.
That's why
let's get to Kirsten here. Super sticker, thank you.
Where is there a way to see the sticker? I don't think we've ever had a super sticker.
I don't know what that is, but thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kirsten. If there's a sticker that's supposed to be showing up, can you comment back, Kirsten, what it's supposed to be? I don't know if it doesn't show up.
I don't know. Okay, so yeah, take it for what it's worth. It's Bob Nightingale. But it's still out there. It's not something that's, right. Obviously consider the source. Who is it? But at the same time, whoa. Let's get some more here. Michael, thank you for a super sticker.
Everyone's been. Where's the sticker?
It says spoiler alert for stickers.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
I think the sticker is supposed to look like a sticker.
Maybe it shows up on the YouTube page. It won't show up on the StreamYard here.
Let me go to YouTube here. Pop that up again. No.
But
Oh yeah, it does show up, dude. There's a way to. I see like Michael Miller just did a super sticker and it says work on it.
Cool.
And Kirsten said, what did it say? Spoiler alert, like you said.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to get those to pop up though.
Well, still, it pops up on the YouTube channel, not for us.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the stickers. Thank you for the super chats.
I agree with this from David. Bob is a death sentence for trade rumors.
Well,
anytime this dude tweets, it's literally the complete opposite happens. Like he tweeted, Padres have entered the chat for Freddie Freeman. Boom. Next day, he's with the Dodgers. Like
he tweeted that the lockout was over and you started calling him your sweet prince, and then it continued for another month.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, Bob's a nice dude. All right. He's very nice. I met him once. Great guy. But holy shit, dude. Can you get something right one time?
It's amazing how bad he's been.
It's unbelievable. The streak that he has created about just getting everything wrong.
Get to Johnny's super chat. This is our loyal listener on Extra 1360. He's always trying to get us to react to his skiing questions on our text line on Extra 1360. Will JS field my skiing questions for money? For $2, Johnny, we will. And if they have to do with Bryan Reynolds. If they have to do with Bryan Reynolds.
I'll make him do it.
And thank you for the super chat.
Oh, yeah. And he was tweeting about Suzuki, too, for the Padres. So it's like, can you shut up, dude?
Okay, to that point real quick. So this offseason, we've gotten our hopes up on Suzuki, Castellanos, Bryan Reynolds, Michael Conforto, who else? Chris Bryant, Freddie Freeman. And if you're a Padres fan, this is like when Lucy pulls the football away from Charlie Brown. It's really happened so many times this offseason. And what we've settled for is Matt Beatty. And who else has been? Luke Voigt, I think, is a nice piece, honestly.
But for outfield stuff, I remember
nothing.
The second before the lockout ended, Padres are interested in Castellanos and Bryant. Remember that?
Yeah.
It carried us through the entire lockout.
I want to say we had Kevin Acey on the show the first day of John and Jim, and he said that the Padres are looking for a Castellanos type bat. He did not say Nick Castellanos, Castellanos type bat. So we all got excited.
So Reynolds is playing today.
Yeah, which is, that's fine. I feel like to be expected. This doesn't seem like it would be imminent. And to your point, he's probably going to get moved to the Marlins.
Right. Or the Giants or something,
Exactly. We're not coming on here to say that this deal is getting done. We're coming out to say that Bob Nightingale tweeted that the Padres and Pirates have had conversations this spring.
Right. No, I haven't asked Darren, but I'm with Darren. Read his tweet. Consider the source. It's Bob Nightingale.
The thing is, nobody really knows, right? If it
does.
You know what I mean? If it gets done, Bob Nightingale probably gets lucky. If it doesn't get done, we probably say, well, Bob Nightingale, had bad information for the 100th straight time.
Yeah, exactly. So take it for what it's worth. But the fact remains, the day after Melvin says you have no outfield depth, which is totally off the beaten path of all Padres managers to actually be truthful. This little rumor pops up the next day.
Let me ask you this: would you move Robert Hassel for Bryan Reynolds?
Yes, 100%.
Because you're replacing position for position, so why wouldn't you do that?
No question.
Now, if it's Robert Hassel and 2, 3, 4 pieces, and you feel like those 2, 3, 4 pieces are worth more than the overall deal, I understand that. But Robert Hassel for Bryan Reynolds makes a lot of sense to me because you're getting 4 years of a player that you hope Robert Hassel to be.
I would go Hassel, Campusano, Weathers, and then whatever other pieces. Those are the top 3 I would do. I would do Hassel, Campusano, Weathers right now.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. You do that deal.
Yep. Because you look, if they aren't confident with Campusano as a catcher, then
Right.
what point does he have? Or like what value does he have to this team? If they're not comfortable with him behind the dish, being a catcher, you have Voit here for a couple years, so you're not going to move him to DH. He's not playing any other position in the field. So trade him while his value is at his highest, and also trade Hassel, who you're replace like that's the straight swap, and then
Right.
Weathers, who you don't really have like a spot for right now. Like I don't see him in this rotation. A long man spot, okay, but I don't know where he's going to be. So if you put in Hassel, Campusano, and Weathers in a deal with other pieces, like in a heartbeat, and you still keep Abrams and you still keep Gore, the two guys that I think over this spring have shown that you don't want to trade them.
Plus, the thing with Reynolds is he's 27. He just turned 27. So, like the idea that, oh, well, what about Hassel? He's got such a bright future. And he may very well. He might be a great player in the big leagues. But you get 4 years at least of Bryan Reynolds in his prime. That's worth giving up a young, talented outfield prospect to get a developed outfield player.
You have no idea what Hassel's going to even be. You have no idea what Campusano.
But we know what Reynolds is going to be.
He's a 6-WAR player, all-star in left field, switch hitter. And he completely not only does he change this lineup, he is the guy that would weather the storm, and like it would give you confidence to compete while Tatis is out. And then once Tatis gets back, I mean, in a lineup with Cronenworth, Tatis, Machado, Bryan Reynolds in it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
I think even with Reynolds, like what Melvin said yesterday, I mean, they have such little outfield depth. I think even with Reynolds, it still wouldn't be like the best outfield in baseball. You'd have Reynolds with Grisham and Myers, but it makes it a lot better than Profar, Grisham, and Myers.
Because then you create, you have an outfield of Reynolds, Grisham, Myers, backups of Beatty and Profar. That's not it's not the worst outfield in baseball solid. Like it is right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It would be fine.
Yeah, it'd be more than fine. I think it'd be better than last year.
It would be a lot better than last year because you'd be adding a 6-WAR player to last year's team is what you'd be doing. Let's get to the super chat from Alex. Little NSFW at 10:30 in the morning. Yes, Alex, and thank you for the super chat. I mean, that's the story of the offseason. Bless you, Jim. I feel like the last 2 off seasons, AJ Preller has won. I'm talking about 2020 and 2021. Now, the Padres didn't necessarily win the season, although they had a nice 2020. This year, they're just up against that luxury tax. So the only way to make moves is now via trade because they have like $6 million to work with under the luxury tax.
Would you consider this a Whoa Nelly trade?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by the way, this would be one of the biggest trades they can make at this point. I mean, imagine a bigger trade this year than that. Trading Eric Hosmer, that would be a bigger trade, but not.
Yes.
But getting back a piece like Bryan Reynolds, you wouldn't get a piece back like Bryan Reynolds trading Eric Hosmer. You wouldn't think, unless you're giving up tons of talent.
Exactly. Wait, hold on. This is not real.
What are you looking up?
Fake. Oh, someone got duped. Don't worry about
it. Real quick, while people are commenting again, would you trade the farm for Bryan Reynolds? Would you trade Robert Hassel for Bryan Reynolds? You can reply in the chat. Again, if you're new here, if you're watching live or on replay, please hit the subscribe button. We've got year-round Padres content for Padres fans. Also, please support our sponsors, including Aura, a natural supplement and plant-based nutrition company. You get 30% off your first order when you use promo code WRAPUP. That's promo code WRAPUP, 30% off your first order. They've got tons of great products for you to improve your health in 2022. Your health, your spouse's health, your children's health, whether it's probiotics. That's what I'm taking every single day because it's good for digestion and heart health and your brain and mental clarity. So I take a probiotic every single day. Jim's been taking their proteins before and after workouts. Jim even worked out last night, probably thanks to Aura. When we left Extra 1360, he's like, yo, I'm going to work out. So like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go take some protein. I'm going to go work out. So he worked out last night.
John, you don't take protein before you work out. All right. You take it after.
There's a pre-workout. There's a pre-workout as well.
Yeah, but you call it a protein. It's not a protein.
Whatever. I don't work out.
I know you don't.
What is it?
I can tell. It's a
Pre-workout
pre-workout.
supplement.
Yes, and then you take the protein after the workouts.
How am I supposed to know that? Look at me, 155 pounds.
He takes protein before a workout.
That's the problem, and then they don't work out. They
I
also
know.
have fish oils, a million different products. Use promo code WRAPUP, get 30% off your first order. There is a link down below, ora.organic. That is aura.organic. Please support the Wrap Up Show and save money using promo code WRAPUP.
Yeah, and the pre-workout that I take,
Pre-workout.
Yeah, raspberry lemonade flavor. It's delicious. It's jitter-free. You won't have all the side effects of other pre-workouts, like you won't crash afterwards, but you still have an insane energy boost during your workout. So go out, get that, www.aura.organic. If you want to live a healthy lifestyle, they have everything for you. We're hooking you up. Use our promo code WRAPUP. You'll get 30% off. Go there right now. You'll thank us later.
I do agree with Johnny, who has just commented saying, JR isn't even buff. I have a hard time believing this. I agree with you. He's been working out a lot recently. You're always telling me you're working out.
Well,
there's difference between, I'm going to the gym.
There's like working out to like not get fat, and then there's like working out like I'm there for 2.5, like someone's there for like 2.5 hours and like doing crazy and stuff. Like I don't do that.
Wasn't I thought that was you last night? You're like, yo, I can't do a wrap-up show. I'm going to be there until 9:00.
No,
that's what I thought you said.
Well, you hear things a lot. You hear things that you want to hear. You have very selective hearing.
Okay, I have selective hearing.
I will say this, Alan. No,
I don't. But where there's smoke, he's going to get dealt to the Dodgers, right?
Right.
He's going to get dealt somewhere.
He's going to get dealt to the Giants. They need another bat. They need another outfielder, and they've been very quiet. Like, watch, and he's going to the Giants. That would be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, not really in a non-funny way. I guess it would be hilarious.
I get it. Yeah,
you know,
it would just prove again, like Bob Nightingale, shut the hell up. Just keep copying and pasting stuff from other people. Don't come out and report anything because your reporting is just not good.
This is your sweet prince from just 3 weeks ago.
He was, and then he completely turned.
How about you, Darvish, by the way, named the Padres opening day starter earlier today. So Darvish a week from today in Arizona against those pesky D-backs.
I like it.
Which means Musgrove's going to pitch the home opener, we have to assume.
Unless he pitches game 2.
But if they use a 6-man rotation, he could still pitch the home opener.
So what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be Darvish, Martinez, Musgrove to get him the opening day start?
Yeah, I kind of like that. We were talking about that yesterday on the radio. Martinez has had a good spring. I don't mind splitting up Musgrove and Darvish, and I like Musgrove pitching opening day at Petco Park in a couple of weeks. So if they're not using a 6-man rotation, I do like that. But then again, you have Snell and Clevenger then back-to-back, 4 and 5, right?
Or you go Darvish, Clevenger, Musgrove, Snell, Martinez.
You could do something like that. Absolutely. I don't know how it's working right now in terms of when they're pitching this spring. Like, is Clevenger going to be available to pitch day 2 of the season?
It all line up on like his. So Clevenger pitched what, 2 days ago?
He did.
So that I think would line him up. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I do like Darvish opening day. I mean, he's had a good spring. He had a good first half last year. They're paying him a lot of money. He's got to have a good year for the Padres, so I do like that. It's his second straight opening day start, right?
It is. They need the Darvish of first half for the entire year.
Yeah.
Like at one point, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think he had like a 1-something ERA. He was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they need him again. They need that again from him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Darvish and Musgrove we feel good about. We've talked about the rest of this rotation. I think this team, I keep using shot in the arm over the last couple of weeks, needs something like that. I don't know if it's Abrams on the opening day roster. I don't know if it's Bryan Reynolds in a trade. But you don't have Tatis. I mean, for the first 3 months of the year, that's a serious letdown. It's a very challenging division, regardless of what you think about the Giants. What's that?
Like the season hasn't already started yet, and I already am like missing Tatis, and this lineup is just like it just
looks different. Even yesterday, they're like, this is as close as the Padres are going to get to their opening day lineup, and I look at that lineup, and it's fine, it's serviceable, but you need guys to really produce in that lineup.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a fine lineup. I don't think it's, I don't know, middle of the road lineup.
Yeah. And look, A lot of times last year, the only reason why people watched Padres games was because of Tatis when they were going through their slide.
Right. These guys
So you
are the
better hope
face
they
of
win.
baseball.
Right. So you better hope they win.
If you don't pull off Reynolds, I mean, are there other names? Like I see some names in the chat. Austin Meadows, we've talked about. Cedric Mullins, we've talked about.
Yeah. Mullins with zero chance. It's a pipe dream.
Oh, look, Mullins to Padres.
Not only is it a pipe dream, like it just, hey, can I have your entire farm system for him? Dude's a 30-30 guy.
Yeah, but that's what I feel about Bryan Reynolds. Is there a difference? What's the difference?
Mullins.
Reynolds had a better year?
Mullins had a better year, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, but they're both what? What was the war?
I don't know. I think Mullins is a better defender, better base stealer, better power bat.
He was a 5.7 WAR player. He's the exact same age. It's very similar. It's a very similar trade. Free agent 2026, very similar deal.
But the thing with Mullins is I don't think he's up for any like type of arbitration. That's why the Pirates, like, they don't want to pay him. They're cheap.
Yeah, they are. So are the Orioles.
Yeah.
You know?
I always trust my cock. Always.
Just like you trusted P. Nass yesterday.
Yeah.
On the
Dixie
radio.
Normus.
Always
trust
okay,
them.
Jaron is saying, look at Reynolds' stat line in 2020, but we can do this with a lot of players. I know what you're saying. I mean, we could do this with a lot of players.
You know who had a really great stat line in 2020?
Right, Eric Hosmer. Will Myers. But it was just such a short year, you know?
You just 2020 is such a fake season. Don't ever go to 2020 stats and look at those as something that like translates for a guy's career. There's some that you can, but a lot that you can't.
Right. So Reynolds in a full season in 2019 had an 880 OPS. Reynolds in a full season last year had a 912 OPS. And Reynolds in 55 games in 2020 had a 632 OPS. I mean, that's factual. He had a 632 OPS. He had a terrible year. They were the worst team in baseball. How many games they win? Like 12?
Probably.
In 2020, they were so bad.
And you also have to look at like how 2020 was. It was essentially in a bubble. You weren't playing every team in baseball. You were playing the same teams like all the time. There was no fans, the COVID protocols with everything. You don't know how people reacted to those. Some probably reacted worse than others. It was just a really weird time. And I would bet a lot of money that a lot of those factors I just said played into why guys had bad 60-game seasons.
Or even good 60-game seasons. It was a little bit of a mirage, you know?
Right.
Like you said, even into 2021, you're like, what do we trust more, the Padres 2020 season or the last 6 years of the Padres? And then that was accurate in the second half of the year. They couldn't hold up over 162. It was just, listen, would we have taken the World Series in 2020? I think most people would have, but would I rather win it in 162? 1,000%.
Yeah, leave no question. Leave no asterisk questions out there. Yeah,
exactly.
You don't want that. Another super chat here from our boy Taco
Thank
Bell.
you, Taco Bell.
So no chance we get Conforto. If it wasn't for the luxury tax, he's exactly what we could use.
But didn't he like hurt his? Scott Boras came out with a statement yesterday saying he's hurt.
Yeah, I mean he'd be the perfect Padre then, but
because he'd be hurt to start the year.
Yeah, but I always felt there was better options than Conforto, and for the money that he was asking, it was a giant red flag for me.
He's going to get $20 million a year.
Yeah, and he's also injury prone. So
and he's also like Jaron had said, he's had good year, bad year, good year, bad year. You know,
yeah, it's not something.
Did he have a shoulder situation too previously, Jim? Did he have shoulder surgery?
He subluxed his shoulder, and I think it was the same injury as Tatis, and
he's got his shoulder hurt now.
Yeah, I don't know which. I don't know which shoulder. Yeah,
that's not great.
Nope. So that ain't it. But thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, absolutely, Taco Bell. We appreciate that.
Appreciate there.
I'm trying to think what else is going on in camp. So 7 days until opening day. Yu Darvish gets the opening day start. Nick Martinez really good yesterday. What are they going to do with Mackenzie Gore? I mean, I don't think he's on the opening day roster. I think it's more likely CJ Abrams is at this point.
Yeah, he's their backup outfielder.
Whatever that means. He hasn't even shagged fly balls yet.
Dennis did write this the other night. What catcher goes? Caratini, Nola, Alfaro, Campusano.
I think Caratini.
right? Has to be.
Yeah.
There's no spot for him on this roster. Like,
Alfaro stays. Nola obviously stays. Campusano, you're not moving unless it's for a real piece, like Bryan Reynolds.
right. So, like, Alfaro's catching Snell today. I mean, Caratini's caught what? 3 games this spring so far? I can't remember how many games he's caught, but it's not a
He
lot.
was here for you, Darvish, right? He was here to catch you, Darvish. If he's not
Yeah.
catching you, Darvish, what's he here for? Not his offense, right?
Nope. It just now is Caratini gonna like get you anything? No. But
No.
at the same time,
Low level player.
you can't have 4 catchers on this roster. You just can't.
Does he have options? Can you even put him in AAA? I mean, one of these guys could
No.
end up in AAA. Campusano obviously could end up in AAA.
Not that if they did a situation where Campusano was in a trade package for like Bryan Reynolds, then yeah, you're keeping Caratini just in case. But if that's not the case, then Caratini he's the odd man out here.
Yeah, I think he is, although I'm not certain Campusano is going to be on the roster. Are you?
No, not anymore. And that's fine. Like I thought before they got Luke Voigt, I was like, yeah, Campusano needs to be on this roster. Is your DH because you can get him at bats.
But now they have Voigt.
Now they have Voigt, and you're
Do you
just
need
like
3 catchers without without double switching and with out pinch hitting as much with the universal DH? I don't know if you need 3 catchers to start the year.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't see why you would. Jim just woke up. This is the earliest Jim has ever been up. Actually, I texted you. I texted you at 6:30 in the morning, and you replied.
Yeah, I was awake. I was like, I didn't sleep well last night. That's all.
But then you texted me back. You're like, only text me if the trade is official. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
So then I texted him 10 seconds later and said, dude, trade's official.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
No.
we spent a little too much time texting back and forth.
Yeah. Basically.
According to my wife.
Oh, yeah. Another super chat here from Alex. If we don't get Reynolds, I feel like an outfielder trade possibly is going to happen. Maybe go back to talks with Meadows with Bomel's comments.
Those comments
were very interesting.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, and they were he was subtweeting Preller publicly
with the media.
Yeah. He might not know he was doing it, but he was doing it. That was a hey, AJ, we have no depth in the outfield, so now I have to put freaking CJ Abrams and try Will Myers out there because we have nobody else.
Wouldn't it be funny if this trade was official a day after he said that? Because Preller was like, you're not putting CJ Abrams in center field. The dude's never even played the position and broke his leg last year.
Well, then good.
Then go get me an outfielder.
Yeah, I'm not doing hey, Preller, you have put me in this spot, bro. So you either go get us an outfielder, okay, or we're doing this because we have no other options here. And I'm not putting Trace Thompson or Nomar Mazara out there when CJ Abrams, even though he has 350 at bats in the minor leagues, is a better player than them.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot of truth in what Bob Melvin said yesterday, which is he knows that leaving spring training with this outfield group is not good enough. It might be good enough for a day or two, but it's not good enough for a month or two.
Right. It's not. And for a full season, are you kidding me?
Right.
If Profar plays left field majority of the time, he either is having a great year or you have major problems.
If you have major problems, though, he's probably not playing left field a majority of the time, right?
I guess that's right.
That point's by Matt Beatty or someone else.
Yeah. Another super chat here from Matt. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Matt.
Let's keep in mind the Padres' biggest flaw was lack of analytics, and every staff member hired this season is very knowledgeable in that area. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
This
good point.
This coaching staff, I would argue, is the best coaching staff since you had Bud Black here.
Yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't argue that. This is a fact.
It is. Yeah.
It's a
and
fact.
the Berdar hire is a really outside the box hire. It really is.
And it's interesting. Even though we haven't been able to talk to him, but whatever. I love Niebla. I love the analytics that he brings to the table. So, yeah, I think they know it's refreshing to say, hey, look, These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a good point by Matt. I mean, we'll see what that means. It's like we said, Bob Melvin's the best manager they've had in 15 years, but what is the manager worth? We're going to find out. We really will find out.
Yep.
In 2022, we'll find out in the first half without Fernando Tatis. How does this team look? Do they look better than they would have with Jace Tingler or not? We'll see. There's no guarantees they're going to be 50 and 40 without Tatis just because they have Bob Melvin. We'd love to see it. We would. Okay, this reminder. You can listen to us for 3 hours a day on Extra 1360, also on the iHeartRadio app. Much more on this Bryan Reynolds rumor from Bob Nightingale. Much more on it. We're going to catch up with Kevin Acee today. We'll catch up with Jason Mackey, beat writer for the Pirates for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to join the show at 4 o'clock. Kevin Acee is going to be on the show at 5 o'clock. A reminder, if you're a Padres fan, you got to subscribe to this channel. We have year-round exclusive Padres content for you. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well. We're a week out from the regular season. Smash the like button. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, and support our partners as well. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. There's a link for Mark down below. You can save $750 on your insurance by switching to Mark at Farmers Insurance. Also support Ora, ORA.organic. You get 30% off your first order using promo code WRAPUP. Also, if you're purchasing Padres tickets in 2022, do so with us. There's a link down below for StubHub. You get the 100% Fan Protect guarantee. So as you purchase tickets for 2022, please do so with us. Again, there's that link down below for StubHub. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the Wrap Up Show presented by Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Thanks for watching.